All right, y'all. If my energy seems off, it is because I just woke up from a nap. I am so tired. It is Monday, March 31st, the last day of March. I had today off from work for some reason, and I have no idea why, but best believe I am grateful. Okay. But yeah, let's get into it. It is our March wrap up. So, yeah, March is always one of my favorite months. Yeah, but anyways, we are going to get down to it. We're going to talk about the books in the order that I read them. So yeah, first, okay, we actually read 2 books of the Bible this month, Titus and Philemon. I highly suggest that you read these books if you are looking for like an entryway into the Bible. Like, there are some very short, very like introspective books in the New Testament, so definitely go check that out. But yeah, that totaled it up to 9 books this month and 22 books this year. If you subtract the 3 books of the Bible, then I'm at 19 I guess regular novels, and 7 books this month. Okay. Anyways, the first book we read this month, after Titus and Philemon, was The Love Lottery by Nina High. I really liked this book. This was an adult black romance. I rated it 4 stars out of 5. Okay, I really liked this book because it got me out of my reading slump. I started this month out in a slump. I ended, y'all already know, February was a huge slump for me. So yeah, I am, oh my gosh, I am so proud of myself. But yeah, The Love Lottery, it was basically about, how come I feel like I already talked about this book? I don't know. Anyways, The Love Lottery, it was basically, it's a small town. It actually was set in fall, so it really is the perfect fall book. But anyways, it's a small town, and it is, there is like this bachelor type of lottery that happens. And if you're single, you can enter this lottery and you can get matched with someone, and you go on 7 dates. And then maybe about those 7 dates, maybe you're feeling each other and you want to take it further. I love this book. It actually was very well done. Nina High is becoming one of my favorite authors. But yeah, it was cutesy. Like, it was very cutesy, and it put a smile on my face. It really did. It was very good. Okay. Next, we have Mouth to Mouth by Tessa Bailey, adult romance that I rated 4 out of 5 stars. So Tessa Bailey is definitely an author that I am gonna go to if I'm in a slump. She always writes something fun and just kind of a little bit out of pocket, a little bit, like, I don't know. She's definitely one of those authors that I like dip my toe into every now and then. Like, I read 2 novellas by her. One was a Christmas one was a New Year's Eve, New Year's Day one, actually. And then I also read a book by her last March in 2024 called Need Me. It was a part of her Broken Beautiful series, I think it's called. And then now I read this Mouth to Mouth that's a part of the Beach something series. I quite like this book, actually. I'm not even gonna lie. It was set in either Long Beach or Long Island. I couldn't tell. I felt like it kind of, I don't know, it kind of flip-flopped. I really didn't know where they were, but it was very good. Like, very good. Like, the male character, I can't remember either their names. How many times do I say that in a video? But anyways, the male character, he got out of jail. He went to jail, of course, for defending somebody he cared about. So it's very much one of those, like, if you love the trope where the main character is like, he's rough and tough, but like, he's rough and tough because he defends the people he cares about, this is for you. And I eat that up. If he has a felony, yes. If he defends people he loves, yes. If he beats people up, yes. If he's tough, yes. Y'all know I'm not, excuse me, y'all know I'm not super into age gap stuff. Yeah, y'all know that. But I don't know, it worked here. Like, it worked here. and I was able to ignore it. It also just had the beachy vibe that like I love. Like I love a beachy vibe. I love a beach movie. I put on my beach soundtrack, my beach playlist while listening to this. Like it was good. The girl, she like just came out of high school, I think, and she's taking summer classes and she's going to college, and so he just kind of feels like they don't match up. She's like accident prone as well. Like she like almost gets ran over, and then she almost drowns, and of course he's a lifeguard. So yeah, it was cute. It was cute, and it was short. This book and the last book were both short books, so I was trying to read short books to kind of like jumpstart me back into the reading world. Okay, next was an even shorter book. I think it was 87 pages, and I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. That's how good it was. It did the darn thing. And it was another adult romance, and it was The Librarian and the Mechanic. I didn't even put who this author was. I am so sorry, but I will have the picture up. But yeah, The Librarian and the Mechanic. This was a very short, like a very short novella set in I don't know if they're in a small town actually. I don't know if they're in a small town, but I know this author makes kind of stories like that. She has another one called The Maestro and the Mechanic, or it's something. No, The Maestro and the Roofer. I don't know, it's something, but it's a series of like short books, and I plan on reading them all. If you feel like you're in a slump or you feel like you're slipping out of the reading world, read something fun. Like read something that will get you there, okay? Yeah, okay, please do. And it's funny because I read these books right after I made my books to get me out of a reading slump video, and I found more books to recommend that will get you out of a reading slump. All of these books, honestly, on this list can get you out of a reading slump. But yeah, anyways, what is it about? So a librarian, of course I don't remember any of their names. The librarian is a librarian, and librarianism is something that's always interested me. So I love when our main character happens to be a librarian. That's what drew me to it. I actually was looking for librarian romance books. That's actually how I found this. I actually typed in librarian into Kindle Unlimited because I was like, where they at? Where they at? Where they at? But anyways, were the books okay? Anyways, so yeah, so she's a librarian. And oh yes, every Friday a mechanic comes in and he checks out a book, and she's like crushing on him and stuff. And one day her car breaks down, and she takes it to the shop or whatever. And she's like they're both like nervous and awkward and weird. They both like each other, but they both don't know it. And yeah, and then she gets on a dating app and she like starts dating around, and he like is jealous. Like he doesn't really like that. But yeah, it's like I said, it's only 87 pages. Like I literally read it laying in this bed. Like that's how short it was. But it was cute. Honestly, me talking about it and how much I loved it. And there was some good lines and some good writing for it to be 87 pages. And like it had everything. Like it was a full story. Like it was 87 pages, but it was a full story. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It just gave. It just gave. It gave. I don't know what to tell you. That was a successful novella. Okay. Next I read Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. So yeah, The Love Lottery, Mouth to Mouth, The Librarian, this book, and the next book I read all during spring break. So when I tell you I had a very fruitful spring break, and Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage, I really liked this book. I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5. It was really good. It was a black cat golden retriever. Okay, so y'all know I love that, where the girl is the black cat and the boy is the golden retriever. I already made a video about that, so please watch it if you want to see or hear or read about more black cat and golden retriever books, because I feel like I am a black cat and I need my golden retriever to get me out of the slump sometimes. Anyways, this was my first Lila Sage book, and I was impressed. I was impressed, to say the least. I've been seeing her, of course. How can you How can you have not seen these gorgeous covers? So what's it about, okay? Ada and Wesley. Yes, so Ada, she is divorced, okay? She is divorced and she is an interior designer. Wesley is the son of, he's the son of the owner of the Rebel Blue Ranch. Yes. He's the son of the owner of the Rebel Blue Ranch, and he's just like a good dude. He's a good cowboy. He takes care of things, whatever. Ada does not know. So Ada comes into town. She comes into whatever town they are in Wyoming, and because she's about to work on the Rebel Blue Ranch. She's at the bar when she gets into town. She's at the bar, and she meets Wesley. She thinks he's cute. They have like a little kiss or whatever, not even knowing that she was going to be spending the next few months with him, because he is the person who she's working for. Like, he's essentially her boss. He is the person who's kind of constructing the new building on the Rebel Blue Ranch. And she doesn't even know that. So the next day when she goes to work, she's like, oh snap, I made out with my boss last night. So yeah, it's very good. And it's very good. Of course she like resists, but like he loves taking care of her. Like, he notices she's cold and like he gets her a hoodie. And I don't know, it was very, very good. I was low-key, I was almost brought to tears from this book. Like, it was very, I don't know, the ending was very, very movie-like. The whole thing was very movie-like. He taught her how to drive stick shift because her husband was very controlling, and Wesley gave her the tools to be independent. And I love that. It's like, he's still helping her, he's still guiding her and leading her, but he's teaching her how to be independent so she can like be her own person. Like, it very much hit home for me. It very much hit home, and I loved every second of it. Loved it. We'll be reading that again one day. Okay, so after Swift and Saddle, we read The Cock Down the Block. So, yes, I said what I said. Don't make me repeat it. So, this is referring to an actual chicken. So, don't get it twisted, okay? It's referring to a chicken. So, this is by Amy Award, and it's adult romance, obviously. I rated this 3.5 out of 5. So, this is about kind of like it's pretty much a friends to lovers. The girl, I don't remember her name, and I don't remember his name either. But anyways, he is a pro football player and kind of like owns all the houses on their street. And she and him like knew each other when they were growing up. And she like lives next door. And she's a librarian. She's a librarian. She loves animals. That's why she has a pet chicken. She's having a class reunion. She went to like a Catholic private school or something. She's having a class reunion, and her like the popular girls are kind of like making fun of her or whatever. And she's like, she lets it slip that her neighbor, the pro football player, is her man. And of course he's not. But secretly, he's actually been in love with her. Like, he loves her down. Like, he's low-key obsessed with her. And so she comes to him and she's like, hey, like, can you help me? Like, can you pretend to be my man for the sake of looking good in front of these popular girls? He says yes, because he's so down bad for her. And he has like 7 other brothers, and they're all like, they're rooting for them the entire book. And yeah, shenanigans ensue. It wasn't like super well done. That's why it's just a 3.5. But it was fun. And if you're in a reading slump and you want to see some plus size representation, and that's kind of done in a corny way, I mean, it's not the worst choice. But yeah, so it was cool. Would I read it again? No. Do I want to continue the rest of the series? Honestly, if I'm in a deep enough slump, maybe. I don't know. It was, you know how you have those books where it's just like, it's just a fun little, you know, like reading that, like, let me tell you something. Reading does not always have to be so serious, and you can learn a lot from fiction. That's why people are so turned off by reading, is because people make it so you have to be reading A Little Life, or you have to be reading Little Women, or you have to be reading Pride and Prejudice, even though, I mean, Pride and Prejudice is a fantastic book and you definitely should read it. But reading doesn't have to be that, okay? Because if someone is reading and they're like newer to English, or they're newer to just, or they if they learn how to read in their adult years, because that happens too, Pride and Prejudice might not be palpable for them, and that's okay. There are other books that had the same message that Pride and Prejudice has. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, y'all had to get on my soapbox for that. Okay, next we have Strip Me Bare by Kimberly Brown, a black romance that I rated 3.5 out of 5 stars. So y'all know Kimberly Brown. I've been reading her on the channel for a minute now, since October. Yeah, October was the first time I ever picked up a book by her. It's a Giroux family novel, okay? And in the Giroux family, there's Jameson, Cartel, Walker. What was her name? Wow. The sister, and then Reese. So there's 5 siblings. Yes, so there's 5 books. So yeah, I've read 6 books by Kimberly Brown, because I've read 4 books out of the Giroux family series, and then I've read Rhythms Blues, and I've read whatever the book was that I read in October. I cannot remember what it was called, but anyways, this one is focused on the sister, who I cannot for the life of me remember her name, but it gets juicy, okay? So like I said, there's a lot going on that, like, you need to read the first 3 books before you read this one. But the sister, she was in an abusive relationship with, I think, a pro ball player, and so she moves to Spain. We see her, we know why she has moved. Like, we already know from the other books that she was living in Spain for a minute and now she's back. We kind of didn't know why, but now I just spoiled it for you. But anyways, yeah, she was in an abusive relationship, but she comes back and she starts to take an interest in Roosevelt. He's a person who, I don't think he's the Giroux family gardener, but he definitely has done some gardening at the Giroux family house. But yeah, she starts taking interest in him. And you need to read the novellas in between, because like every couple has had their own novella about their wedding. And I have not read those, I won't even lie to you. And I should. Whenever I'm feeling in a slump, I should read those. Because, yeah, but anyways, Roosevelt just kind of takes care of her. He lives on he owns his own land. He lives on a farm. He kind of has a cowboy vibe. It even ends with this quote that I love, where she's like, "You're in for the ride of your life, cowboy." If you can't tell, like, I love the cowboy aesthetic. Like, I love it. I eat it up. Yeah, like, it was cool. It was definitely cool. It took me a while to get through, because I was reading it during my first week of grad school, 1. And also 2, I don't know, there wasn't anything that was like really, 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 like really capturing me. But yeah, like, it was cool. The last book that I read this month, that book is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, okay? I won't go too deep on it, because I will be posting that blog, because I have a lot of thoughts. But yeah, Sunrise on the Reaping. What can I even say about this? Obviously, it is another Hunger Games prequel, okay? Set after the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So yeah, it is set 40 years after the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So President Snow is 58 years old in this book. Haymitch is 17 or 18. This book wrecked me. Okay, this book wrecked me. I felt so many different emotions this week. Some to my personal life, and then some having to do with this book, because it, yeah, this book, I sobbed. When I finished it, I sobbed. I just feel like I need to read something from this book, because it is so good. And so I remain forever trapped in my chamber, okay? If you know Haymitch, then you know that he's an alcoholic. He's very closed off and seems very, like, unserious. And there's a reason for that. That's all I'm going to say. There's a reason for that, and you will find out in this book. Epilogue? I want to cry talking about it right now, but I'll try not to. The epilogue had me feeling so weak. But anyways, I will read you this part from the epilogue that's about Katniss, because yeah, everyone who's ever been in the Hunger Games, probably besides Prim, because Prim is too young, has a cameo in this book. Like, everybody. If not a cameo, then they are mentioned. Like, everybody. Just keep that, like, I'm trying to sell you this book. You have to read it. It makes everything come together. It makes everything come together. From the Battles of Songbirds and Snakes, to the Hunger Games, to Catching Fire, to Mockingjay. It all comes together. Oh, I first saw the girl at the Hob when she was just a baby. Burdock was so proud of her, he toted her around everywhere. After he died in that mine explosion, she started coming alone, trading the old squirrel or rabbit. Tough and smart, her hair in 2 braids then, reminding me for all the world of Luella McCoy, my sweetheart of old. And after she volunteered for the games, that nickname couldn't help but slip out. I didn't want to let them in, her and PETA, but the walls of a person's heart are not impregnable, not if they have ever known love. Like, do you, like, my liver's wrecked and I only dry out when the train's late. I drink differently these days, though, less to forget, more out of habit. When my time comes, it comes, but I have no idea when that will be. Nothing you can take from me was ever worth keeping, and she is the most precious thing I've ever known. Yeah, it's, it's, wow. I didn't think that reading it a second time would really make me emotional, but it does. It really does. It really does. This was one of the most emotional books I've ever read. I sobbed, I cried. I didn't think that I could read a book that takes place before the original trilogy, and it would be just as sad, if not more sad. It's actually more sad. It's actually sadder. But yeah, this is the 50th Hunger Games, the first quarter quell. You need to read this. You need to read the entirety of the Hunger Games. If you don't realize that the world is getting closer and closer to a world like this, you are blind. And Suzanne Collins, they say that she only writes when she has something to say, and by God, she had something to say. So you need to read this. It's required reading, actually. It's required material that you need to read before you come to my channel. Now what? But anyways, y'all, that's how I ended off the month. I read, oh, I was about to push on my glasses and there are no glasses. Those are all the books I read this month. I hope y'all enjoyed that. I hope that you heard something interesting that you might want to read. I pray that I can have a decent reading month this month, y'all, but I don't know. Every weekend on my calendar is already full. It is already full. So, I don't know. But, yeah. That's that. I can't wait to see y'all in the next video. Talk to y'all later.